1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, teaching, education, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. That said, you're a counter shot master, and it's been a while. So, I want to remind you that you're a counter shot master. I talk boxing and related subjects. And since boxing is microcosm of the greater society, then that means we will deal with a host of different subjects, some of which get hot, and sometimes it's a bit offensive to some, but if it is too hot, then you can leave, but you're welcome to stay. I prefer that you do. We learn from each other. It's been months since I did anything. I'm not someone who tries to do this a lot. I do it for my own purposes. But I guess I should say that I have lost my mother here recently. The family has had to deal with that, and she's in a much better place than here, and she's at rest. So, dealing with other matters just kept me from doing this, but now's a good time, I guess, since we have a good fight coming up here on the weekend. I've missed a lot, and I'll go back and chime in on some things that have taken place because of certain reactions more than anything, and because I would have wanted to put my 2 cents in. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and go with this Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. situation that everybody's been waiting for. So, if I may, I'd like to clear some things up. There have been people who have been really, really just going nuts about this fight. They have been just going nuts about Terence Crawford. I need to make it clear. I am not a fan of boxers, of men, and things like that. I don't hero worship, but I respect people for what they do. And both of these guys are really talented boxers, and so they both really, really, deserve whatever's coming to them. Come Saturday. We've got situations where it seems like Bud Crawford can do nothing right. So we get all these allegations about why the fight didn't take place and so on and so forth, and how Spence did everything and Crawford did nothing to try to run and duck and this and that. But I don't think neither of these fighters are or were ducking the other guy. But there are things that people want and things that people need. There's so much speculation out there, and it has become childish just to listen to all of the banter, all of the back and forth. At the beginning, I said if this fight wasn't taking place in a timely manner, if it seemed to be dragging, it was because of the suits, because of the powers that be. The powers that be always have a hand in this. I said that from the very, very start. And I'm going to show you something that sort of may indicate that I was right. And I have a certain amount of experience as far as those type things. So all of us should, but we have to be realistic and we have to be honest with ourselves. So let me go straight to something that's come up. Okay. The negotiations. The negotiations were found to be somewhat useless for a while, but apparently, after time, according to Spence, he let Crawford have his way on most things, and that's fine. In negotiations, people ask what they want. If they don't get what they want, then they walk away. And that happened, and there was criticism for that. Now, I will say this, if you walk away from a fight and have another fight lined up, hey, that's your business. So for Crawford to go and make another $10 million, he's got to put food on his table. If Spence had done the same thing, I would not fault him either. I like both of these fighters equally. So I've got no skin in the game. So either one of them that wins is great. But I will have to make a prediction based on logic. So that's it. Let me show you what Andre Ward came out the other day and said. He said, if everyone really knew what was going on behind the scenes and how that fight actually came about, I think a lot of people would give them guys a lot of apologies. Even though I know, one moment, even though I know they won't. They should be giving them a lot more credit. The fight is one that's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be an all-time great fight. Those kinds of wheels, those types of resumes, and that skill set, it's impossible for it not to be a great fight, in my opinion. But how the fight got made is not getting enough credit. They got together off to the side, not with the suit department. The suits made it messy. The suits caused a lot of the delay. I'm not saying all of it, but a lot of the delay. That's a quote from Andre Ward. I've been saying the same thing from day one while I listen to these young ones, these young fellas that just want what they want because they want it now. I've been listening to them just bickering back and forth and back and forth and making all kinds of, points that cannot be supported. I understand the frustration, but you gotta be able to sit back and realize what's really going on behind the scenes sometimes. And when you can do that, you will be less frustrated. You'll get a greater understanding of how things work. What's going on and why. And it may not be satisfactory to you, but at least it'll give you or should at least lend itself to giving you a bit of patience, so that when the fight does come around, because as I was saying for months and months and months, they will fight. They were saying they're not going to fight, but they will fight. They're not going to be disallowed to fight because these other guys, these suits have too much money at stake. Okay, there's so much money, so they might slow these brothers down, and the brothers always seem to get slowed down, but they're going to fight at some point. But guess what? Brothers were out there in the streets fighting against one another. And from one broadcast to the other, these guys have their places here on YouTube, and they're fighting instead of just kind of hanging out together and just doing what they do. Anyway, that was what Andre Ward had to say about this situation. Okay, so the only thing I'm going to do really is just kind of give some thought to what I see probably happening, in this fight. So here's the situation. We've got a big question as to who's going to win. You got those that are dead set on Crawford knocking out Spence, and vice versa, and that's cool. That makes for a interesting fight. Everybody kind of, well, for the most part, people agree that it's pretty much a 50-50 fight. Anything can happen. I can't sit up and argue with that. That's a pretty fair analysis on the surface. So the only thing we can do is go with the eye test. We can go with statistics. We can go with whatever. But at the end of the day, let's look at things from a physical aspect, and then maybe mental, maybe a little psychological. But at the end of the day, what we have is this: height. 5'9" is Spence. 5'8" is Crawford. So that height would be no advantage to anyone. We're going to look at advantages and disadvantages. We're going to look at who makes more mistakes. Okay, so who has more chinks in their armor than the other? So as far as like physical advantages, 5'8", 5'9", there's no real advantage. 143 pounds, 144 pounds. Last I saw, I forgot to look at the weigh-in weights there. I forgot what it was. I think they were both around 146 if I remember correctly. But I'm looking at some earlier numbers. At any rate, there's no real difference in the body weight. However, the reach, there's a 2-inch reach differential, and that goes in favor of Crawford. Now that reach makes a difference. The height's not going to make much of a difference. A 1-inch height difference is not going to make much of a difference. The reach is more important. And Terence Crawford has a 2-inch reach advantage, so there is an advantage there. Age, no difference. 35 is not old. When you stay in shape, believe me when I tell you, 35 is not old. 35 is nothing. If you're not busted up and injured, and of course Errol Spence Jr. had his accident, but he's bounced back from it. But if you keep your body healthy and pure and clean, drug-free, smoke-free, eating the right foods and take care of yourself, getting the proper rest, Like I said, not drinking, none of that stuff. You're gonna be good to go. 35 is like 20. Trust me when I tell you. So we've got the age differential is nothing. We've got 28 fights to 39 fights. So Crawford's got an advantage as far as numbers, as far as the experience in terms of pro fighting. It's not a huge difference, but it's a slight edge. Anytime you can do more of something, then that just means a possible increase in knowledge. 28 wins out of the 28 wins for Spence, and of course 39 out of 39 for Crawford. 22 KOs for Spence, very, very good show, and 30 out of 39 for Crawford. Same for him. These guys are even in most every way so far. Now, if we look at let's say some glaring problems. I don't want to get into things way deep, but if we just look at some of the problems that are really noticeable, really quickly, and I don't want to be long-winded with this. I'm dealing with situations of my own, so I don't want to stretch this out. But we're talking about things that are quickly, easily seen. I'll talk about a few things to look for here. I'm gonna start with Errol Spence Jr. One of the things that you may look at with Spence that could land him in a little bit of trouble are some of the basics like taking too many steps backward when he's being attacked. Defensively, typically you're going to be taught once you take 2 to 3 steps back, especially after 3 steps, you probably want to go ahead and turn that corner, okay, or pivot out one way or the other. And Spence does have a tendency to be backed up all the way, straight back, all the way till he gets to the ropes, and then he'll either kind of push back and engage, or at that point he'll then begin to move laterally. That's his way. That's how he tends to do it. But that type of thing can land you in trouble when the guy sees that you're going straight back like that. It opens up a few opportunities. But again, for him, it's been working, and it may keep working. But on an elite level, and both of these guys are elite, Crawford may see something there that some of us might see as an opportunity, so that he can give Spence a problem. Who knows? We'll find out. Now, also during the fight, Spence has a tendency to use his jab a bit too much when he's fighting on the inside. So when you're in close range fighting like that, especially like you're pretty much like in the phone booth, even in the pocket. When you're in the pocket, that's a beautiful time for exchanges. When you see guys fighting in the pocket, you can see some of especially if they're both high level, you can see some beautiful exchanges and some just great work being done. But when they're at close range, basically in a phone booth, it gets a bit trickier, and it still can be great depending on the skill and talent of the guys and the intelligence. But the thing is, at those ranges, a jab is ineffective. A jab is ineffective. Period. It's going to be nullified by hooks, uppercuts, short right hands, things like that. So while you're jabbing, you're probably going to get caught in a meat grinder. Okay, so I would get out of the habit of jabbing on the inside like that. It's just not good. You're going to get caught with something ugly. Okay, something else so that's a couple of things. Now something else that sort of stands out with Spence is that he will unnecessarily fight at the shorter man's height. He did it with Garcia. He did it with who was that? well, it doesn't matter. He does it. It's just what he does. He will you'll notice that he gets right in there and gets down low. And I understand he's a body snatcher, so he's going to be low regardless. But he's he has said he has many styles, and he's very versatile. And I don't have any reason not to believe him. But in a fight like this, it may not be best to just get in there, get down low, and just do the same thing, because that's also a problem. Everybody knows what Spence is going to do. Now the question is, it's worked. It's worked for him 28, 28 times, right? So what you going to do about it? I guess is the question.